All right, Chaitanya, do you want to start?
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Youth Jam. Today looks like we have a short group. Welcome to Youth Jam. Thank you everyone for joining. And today we'll have a short Sadhana Saturday program since Maharaj is traveling. And that will consist of the usual items, activities that we do, which is our Chad, and then we'll dive into a discussion on a Back to Godhead article as we've been doing, and then we'll read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita and have breakout rooms to discuss further. So before we start, as usual, we'd like to start with a prayer. How that works is if we can get the links in the chat as well as the script, but we'll have someone nominate whoever they want, and then if we get a second, we can have them start us off with a program, with a prayer. Would anyone like to nominate someone? Can say it out loud or in the chat.
I nominate Vivon.
All right, Parth nominated Vivaan. I second that. Vivaan, if you would please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So, right now, I don't know what's happened, but whenever I try to turn on my camera, it's not working. So I'll just do the prayer.
All right, no problem, Vivaan.
My dear Shri Radha Kala Chandji, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Bhakta Hanuman, if you so desire, please let everyone learn something new and be a great devotee to Krishna in this youth jam. Thank you for considering my request. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you so much, Vivaan. That was a really nice prayer. And if anyone's new here for the first time, if they're joining for the first time, we have the links in the chat for you in a minute. And please let us know, either me or Abhay know if you're joining for the first time. It looks like everyone's familiar. All right. So we can get started with our first activity. We'll start with Chad. We're still doing chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, I believe. I think that ends later this week. So I'll pull it up, and since we have a small group, I'll read through the shlokas and then we can go back to the translations and each take turns reading a few verses. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Mana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasya Tashrinu Jnanam Teham Sabhijnanam Idam Bhakshyam Yasheshatah Yajñātvā neha bhūyonyaj Jñātavyam avashishyate Manushyanam sahasreshu Kaschid yatati siddhaye Yatatam api siddhanam Kaschin mam veti tatvataha Bhumirapo nalo vayu Khammano buddhireva cha Ahankara iti yamme Bhinna prakritirashtatha Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat etad yoni bhutani sarvani tyupadharaya aham kritsnasya jagatah prabhava pralayastatha matta parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana iva rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryoyo pranava sarva vedeshu shabdhake paurusham nirshu punyo gandha prithivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavaso जीवनम सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विधिपाता सनातनं बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम् बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागाविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभा ये चैव सात्विका भावा राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त ये वेति तान् विधि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् सर्वम् इदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायाम् एतां तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतनो मूढा प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमा माययापहृतज्ञान आसुरं भावमाश्रितः चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन अर्थो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभा तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्ता एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोऽर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः उदारः सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम् बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञान प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवतः तं तं नियममास्थाय प्रकृतः स्वया यो यो याम्नां तनुं भक्त श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्य तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम् सतया श्रद्धया तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मयैव विहितान् हितान् अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसां देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः परं भावम् अजानन्तो ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम् नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगी माया समावृतः मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको माम् अजमव्ययम् वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्यानि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ये द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रतः जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम् साधिभूतादिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगो नाम सप्तमोऽध्यायः हरि ओम्. All right, now we'll go back to the translations, and if we can get a few volunteers to read, that would be awesome. Let's see. Okay, we have 4 hands. Haridas, Parth, Maitali, and Anvika. And, okay, Navya, Nitai. Is that 5? Okay, each of you can read 6 translations. Dr. Haridas, let's get you started.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly anyone knows me in truth. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another, superior energy of mine, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. All created beings have their source in these 2 natures, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution."
O conqueror of O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in either and ability in man. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all aesthetics. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the power and the prowess of all powerful men. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to the religious principles, O Lord of the Bhartas. Know that all states of being, be they of goddess, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything. but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me.
Doodlated by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me. Who am above the modes and inaccessible. The divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake the atheistic nature of demons who do not surrender unto me.
O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal.
After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. I am in everyone's heart as a supersoul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so he can devote himself to that particular deity. Endowed with such faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtain his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and now have assumed his personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
I am never manifested to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows. O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by my duality, arising from desire and hate. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Those in full consciousness of me who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death.
Yeah, thank you, Nitai, and thank you everyone else also for reading the translations. And now I'll hand it over to Abhay, who will lead us with the next part of our program.
Haribol. So today we'll read an article from Back to Godhead that Prabhupada wrote in the early 1950s. So Chaitanya Nityanam, can you share your screen?
Just a sec.
Okay, so I'll read the article and then afterwards we'll split into breakout rooms for some short discussion about it. Is it possible to see him? In the Secretariat buildings in New Delhi, there's an inscription on the stone that liberty does not descend upon a people, but it has to be earned before it can be enjoyed. Actually, this is the fact, and we have seen it, that much sacrifice has to be rendered by the people of India before they could gain Swaraj. But in the matter of Godhead, some irresponsible people ask, where is God? Can you show me? Have you seen God? These are some of the questions put forward by some irresponsible men who want to have everything very cheap. If we're attaining a temporary false sense of liberty in this material world, so much labor and sacrifice have to be requisitioned. Is it possible to see Godhead, the absolute truth, so cheaply? To see God means complete liberty from all conditions, but is Godhead an attending orderly so that he may be present at my command? The atheist, however, demands like that, as if Godhead is his paid servant, and he thinks that Godhead is an imaginary thing, otherwise he would have appeared before us as soon as the demand to see him is made. Hiranyakashipu, the king of the materialistic atheists, demanded like this. His son offended him because he was a devotee of Godhead. Prahlad was the name of Hiranyakashipu's son. The boy who was entrusted to some good guardian tutors who gave him lessons on politics, civics, diplomacy of divide and rule, pacifism, law and order, and everything all that makes a well-established state for lording over the material nature. This was the idea of Hiranyakashipu to become happy in the material world. He was mainly concerned with Hiranya, gold, and Kashipu, soft women in bed, and he wanted to educate his son or dependent in that great art of exploitation. Fortunately, Prahlad's ideas was different, which he got by the mercy of Sri Narada, the great master of devotional service. He impressed upon Prahlad that devotional activities for the service of Godhead was the supreme aim of life. Material happiness is no solution of the problems of life, but spiritual realization is the aim of human perfection and the source of real liberty, Swarajya. One day, Prahlad Maharaj, when he was a mere child, was asked by his father to explain the knowledge that he received from his guardian tutors. Prahlad Maharaj replied like this: Tat sadhumanya shurabhariya dehinam sada samudbhignam diyam asatgrahat hitvatma patam griha anda kumpam vanam gatojat harim ashrayeta. That sadhu goodness, money, I do think Ashur-abariya, the chief of the Ashuras, non-devotees, atheists, Dehinam of the embodied, Sada, always, Samud Bhigna, with care and anxieties, Diyam, Diyam of the thinking men, Asat Grahat, from the temporary engagement, Hitva, leaving aside, Atmapatam, that which kills the soul, Griha, household, Andakupam, the black hole well, Vanam, the forest, Gato, one who has gone, Jat, that hurry unto guarded Ashrayeta, take shelter of. O the chief of the Asuras, I do think that persons who are always disturbed in mind with cares and anxieties of household affairs may quit off the place which is like the black hole, temporary abode to kill oneself and take shelter onto the lotus feet of the personality of God by entering into the forest. Prahlad Maharaj thought it right to get liberty first from cares and anxieties of household life. But is there any man who is completely carefree of household life? It is said that the management of a family is more difficult than that of an empire. Nobody is free from this troublesome business. Then what is the remedy? Prahlad Maharaj suggests that one should altogether leave that soul killing black hole of household life and go into the forest. Will that solve the problems of cares and anxieties? Are the jungle beasts, the tiger, the wolf, the bear, the monkey, etc., free from cares and anxieties? No, they are not carefree. Why do they live in the forest? Yes, they live in the forest undoubtedly, but they have no engagement in the service of the Lord. That is the cause of their cares and anxieties, as much as the animals and beasts in the human form. The real remedy lies in the act of accepting the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. That makes one free from all cares and anxieties of life. That makes one able to see God always and everywhere. The monkeys live in the forest, they live on fruits and flowers. They live also naked without any dress, and there are many, many monkeys in the human form, live naked, eat fruits, and call themselves as Vanacharya, the renowned sannyasis. But just like the monkeys, they keep hundreds of women followers as their devotees, and enjoy the company exactly like the monkey who keeps such hundreds of she-monkeys in the company. Such monkeys sometimes appear in the midst of the urban and rural population and commit tremendous harm to the village economy. Similarly, the so-called monkey vanacharyas, who've left their home in search of solving the problem of bread, cannot get any happiness liberated from the cares and anxieties of household life. They create another household rendezvous in the order of vanacharya life and remain always full of cares and anxieties in the matter of protecting their personal interests in such household affairs of monasteries and business of temples. They are not carefree. Prahlad Maharaj did not advise to adopt such false life of Anacharya. The real life of Anacharya is exhibited when one has, I'll assume that says 100%, taken shelter of the lotus feet of Hari, the personality of Godhead. That is the real position of a Vanacharya, and it may be possible even without going into the so-called forest. Prahlad Maharaj, the author of the great instruction, was himself a great king and householder, but because from the very beginning of his life he practiced the art of taking shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord, he remained always a Vanacharya, even in the dress of a householder. He was always free from cares and anxieties because he knew that he was under the protection of the Lord. His father, Hiranyakashipu, did not like the idea of God worship because he thought God was his enemy. His brother Hiranyaksha was killed by the personality of Godhead, and therefore he thought him as the enemy and the enemy of his family. There are many atheists like Hiranyakashipu who take God as their enemy. One German godbrother told us that in the First World War, many people in his country turned to be atheists on account of their family members being killed in the warfield. Somebody's husband, somebody's son, or somebody's brother may have gone to the warfield. When the fighting was going on, all of them prayed for the safe return of their relations. Unfortunately, almost all of them did not return back forever, in spite of such prayers, and therefore they turned to be atheists. They thought that God is their order supplying agent, and because the prayer order of protecting the lives of their relations were not carried out by God, the word God is a myth, and there is no existence of God. That is the position of cheap God seekers. They want to see God without the necessary sacrifice and without knowing his actual position as the order supplying agent. And if God is not seen in that way of impertinence, the existence of God must be denied by them. Foolish people like Hiranyakashipu, concerned only with gold and women, is bewildered to see Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the personality of Godhead is not exposed to the eyes of everyone, but he is existent always and everywhere by his omnipresent impersonal features. In the Brahma Samhita, it is advised that one can see him in the sun, which is said to be one of his eyeballs. As the eyeball rolls within the hole, so also the sun is rolling within its limited orbit. His impersonal features are described in the Bhagavad Gita, and one can see him everywhere, as the banyan tree, the lion, the shark, the Himalaya, the ocean, and everything that is extraordinarily powerful. He is the seed of growth of every living being, and by his potencies, the whole universe is rolling on. The strength of gravitation that sustains the planets in their respective positions is also he. He therefore manifests himself by the diverse energies exactly like the fire, which maintains its existence by the power of expanding heat and diffusion of light. He is sometimes compared with the sun, and his different energies are compared with the rays of the sun. The living entities are so many molecular particles emanations from him, as the rays of the sun are innumerable molecular particles of the sun. The sun and the sun rays are simultaneously one and different. The sun rays are always at my door. I can feel its intensity of heat. I can see it everywhere. At the sun rays, I can see the sun also, although he is far, far away from me. At the same time, if I am a sane man, I can feel it that the sun rays are not the sun. The sun is simultaneously one and different from the sun rays. We can imagine the intense heat of the sun by a little and partial experience of the portion of the sun rays. The living entity is being compared with the sun rays. It is quite possible to see the Supreme Lord by subconscious perception. The living entities are distinct individual souls with minute portions of independence and desire for lording it over the material nature. This desire for lording it over the inert material nature makes the living entity a superior Purusha, or enjoyer of this matter. And from this part and parcel Purusha, we can feel the power and omnipotency of the complete Purusha. The living entity is the particular sample of the Supreme Being, but he is fully joyful by nature, Anandamaya Avyasat. The Purushottam is therefore the transcendental Supreme Person, individual, identified like one in quality of so many individual living beings. But he is the Supreme Personality above all other persons. Nobody is above or equal to him. He is without a second. He is not, therefore, impersonal, only as imagined by men with poor fund of knowledge. His impersonal features are diverse sun rays at my door. In the Vishnu Puranam, the matter is described as follows. Ekadesha stitiyasya gne jyotsna vishtarina jata parasya brahmana shakti tataidam akilam jagat. I'll skip the synonyms for that. This whole universe is the manifestation of diverse potencies of the Supreme Absolute Truth, just like the fire situated in one place can diffuse its light all around. The personality of Godhead does not become impersonal for the matter of his impersonal potencies. He is non-different from his impersonal manifestations. That does not make him without personality. His omnipotency suggests that he is originally the Supreme Person, and he has expanded himself by plenary portions and differentiated parts and parcels. Atheist Hiranyakashipu wanted to see Godhead, and he asked Prahlad, his son, where is his Prahlad's God? The child Prahlad answered that his God is seen everywhere. That is the vision of a devotee. The devotee does not see anything except his Godhead. Anything animate or inanimate exhibits Godhead in the eyes of a devotee. A devotee's eyes are anointed with the pulp of love for Godhead, and as such, he sees nothing except in relation with Godhead. Sometimes we see the notice in a public garden as follows. The garden belongs to you, and you should try to maintain it by such feeling. The same notice is sometimes seen in the railway carriage, and the purpose of such notice is to awaken the national feeling of the citizen. A good and trained citizen knows that the government is run on by his representative, and therefore that government is his own government, and the property belonging to the government does also belong to him, and he behaves in that way. Therefore, he can see everything interrelated with the government, and if he has the necessary national feeling, he can see everywhere the governmental power in its impersonal feature represented. The power and personality of the government is felt by a good citizen everywhere in the country, and this feeling is made possible out of a feeling of national consciousness. This, this national feeling and love for the country and government are all products of sincere service for the cause of the nation. And the same thing is applicable in the wider sense when we speak of seeing Godhead. Godhead is not, therefore, a cheaply order of the materialistic atheist. Godhead can be seen only by a sincere service mood and not by challenge. A person who sees God cheaply in the ordinary way and a person who argues that God cannot be personally seen, both of them are misguided. The personality of Godhead reserves the right of not being exposed to the vision of a challenging Hiranyakashipu. That is not the process of realizing the personality of Godhead everywhere. To the eyes of a devotee, everything is simultaneously one and different from Godhead. He sees Godhead in everything and everything in Godhead, and that is the highest stage of realization in Godhead. The impersonal material conception of Godhead under the headings of pantheism, henotheism, monotheism, and polytheism, etc., is the beginning process of seeing the Godhead. The next higher stage of seeing him is the stage seeing the supersoul residing with every individual soul, and the highest stage is to realize the personality of Godhead, the supramental stage of loving service, the spiritual existence. The revealed scriptures therefore warn us against cheap realization of Godhead. The revealed scriptures definitely says that Godhead cannot be seen with our material eyes, neither can he be perceived by material senses. The eyes and the senses of a devotee must be trained up in the art of transcendental service. The Supreme Lord is sentient and he is clever enough to know our modes of such transcendental loving service. And with progress of such service attitude, only the Godhead is realized by the mercy of Godhead. Nobody else can realize him even by a fraction of speculative habit of flickering mind. The speculative habit of the mind and the velocity of air or light year conducted for thousands of years can hardly reach the vicinity of Godhead. But one who is constantly engaged in his transcendental service with love and pleasure can realize him by his mercy only. That is the process of finding out where is Godhead. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said like this: Tesham satata yuktanam vajadam pritipurvagam nadami buddhi yogam tat nyena mam upayantite. I do give more facility of transcendental service to the devotee who are constantly engaged in my service with love and affection, which will help them to come unto me. God helps them who help themselves by the service attitude of Godhead. Okay, now we can split into breakout rooms if Manya is able to take over.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you, Abhay, for leading us to that beautiful reading. So we'll be joining into breakout rooms and you'll know more from your breakout room leaders. And we'll see you in about 10-15 minutes. Right. Have fun.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you had insightful discussions in your breakout rooms. Before we move on, we'd love to hear what you talked about. So if maybe I believe we had 3 breakout rooms, but I'm just gonna open the floor here. Maybe if someone wants to share something that they shared in the breakout room or something that they learned from people or any interesting thing that you talked about. Yeah, Parth, go ahead.
So in our breakout room, like we were talking about like if another person, like if you had to tell another person like how do you see Krishna, right? So like I said that Krishna, like you cannot see Krishna that cheaply. You can only see Krishna through you have to be humble, you have to be devoted, and you have to be free from all material attachments. And you have to, the main thing is that you have to have love for Krishna. And then only through that, then you can see Krishna. And also what like Arav said in our breakout room that like Krishna's everywhere. Like if you tell somebody, oh, everything that you see around us is made of atoms, right? They'd have to take a course on that and then they'll say, oh yeah, this really is an atom. But then if you put an atheistic person in front like of Krishna and say, oh, what is this marble idol? Then you can give them a course on bhakti and then later they'll be like, oh, this is really Krishna.
Wow, that's such a nice perspective. You're off to become such a great preacher, Parth. This is amazing. Vivan, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So in our breakout room, we were also describing how we were able to see Krishna, and we came up with some different categories of how we can see Krishna. So the first category is actually directly seeing him in the temple. Like all of the deities in the temple are actually Krishna. Like Krishna's inside the deity, and you're actually taking darshan of the deity. And then second is any service that Krishna gives you, any service that you have in the temple, like making garlands, washing the plates of Krishna, making prasadam, anything like that. All of those different types of service, Krishna is actually given to you and you've not taken it. Like only if Krishna wants you to do the service, then he'll give it to you. At any moment, Krishna will make some circumstance that, oh, I cannot do this service anymore if he doesn't like how you're doing the service. So you should never take your service for granted. Then the third categorization that we made was in your, let's say Krishna really wants to let you know something, is by, let's say, in your dreams. Like in your dreams, Krishna can just come, be like, I really want to share this important message with you, and then explain. So that's another way. And then lastly is but in the form of another person. So let's say you really need something and you don't know where to get it, but then this other person like right next to you is like talking to someone on the phone and being like, oh yeah, do you have this thing? I was looking for it. That basically means like Krishna's come and he's taken the form of that person to help you in that service or what you're doing. So that's also another way to see Krishna.
Wow, that was so insightful. I really loved what you said about not taking our service for granted. I feel like that's really important, and I've seen myself even do that sometimes. And also the last point about like seeing association in the people that come in our lives as people that Krishna sends to us. And I feel like you start to realize later on that, hey, like, I met this person, but I've changed, like my life's changed, or, a book or anything. So thank you, Vivan. That was so nice. Tungavidya, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maithili made a really great point in our group where she was talking. I asked a question about what's like a recent experience that you've had where you've like directly experienced Krishna. And she was talking about this particular experience where she likes making garlands for the deities. And she brought these garlands to the pujari, and the pujari was like, oh, we already have garlands for the deities. And she was kind of like sad. And then she was like, okay, that's fine. Which this is a side point, but I thought it was very mature and like really nice of her. Like, I don't know what the word is this, but like she was just like so accepting of the fact that like, okay, like, no garlands, like kind of sad, but still like not really like throwing a tantrum. Like I personally would have been like super upset. But the main point was that like the pujari came back a couple minutes there sometime later and he was like, actually, we don't have garlands for the Chota deities, so like could you make garlands for that? And then she was like, absolutely. So I thought that was a really sweet story. Um, because Krishna definitely reciprocates with your like sincere desire.
Yeah, that's so nice. I love the story, Maithili. You need to show us some of the garlands you make. I personally really wanted to learn how to make them. Maybe you could do a course for everyone at UChem. What do you think, Maithili?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. These are such great reflections, and I hope that you all had a good time in your breakout rooms. So now we're gonna kind of shift into trying to see Krishna's presence in the holy name. And we're trying to call these kind of sadhana Saturdays. So we're just gonna do one round of chanting together. Don't worry, we're not gonna all chant together because Zoom technology is not the best. So we will chant on muted mics, but we'll have like the Maha Mantra shared on the screen. And before we start, I just want to say, just to take this 10 minutes of your Saturday to give into this practice, and as you're chanting, just noticing that you're present here and God can be realized and from the holy name that we're chanting. And as we're chanting, Krishna is in the holy name. So we're gonna get started with about 10 minutes of chanting. And Chaitanya Nitanam, if you wanna start sharing your screen, we could go on. All right, so I can start leading and then you all can chant behind muted mics. Give me 1 second. I realize I don't have my beats. Give me 1 second. All right. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Okay, we're gonna close our eyes and we'll take 3 deep breaths and come back into this space. So breathe in, hold it for as long as you can, and breathe out. We'll do 2 more of these. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, hold it there, and breathe out. Right. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for chanting with all of us, and hopefully it was a nice experience chanting together. And now we will take just some reflections. Doesn't have to be from the chanting, but just your life, what's going good, what are you annoyed by, what makes you happy, what happened this week, anything that you feel like sharing, please go ahead. Yeah, the floor is yours. Does anybody want to start us off today? I will call on people if I don't see hands. Nita, you look really happy today. Do you want to share something?
Nothing.
Tilak, I love your tilak too. Did you put it yourself?
No, my mom did one.
Your mom put it. Wow. Do you want to share something, Nitai? What did you like today, or what is going on in your life?
Not much.
Huh?
Not anything.
Not anything? Okay,
Yeah.
what is your favorite prasadam? What is your favorite food to eat?
Simply wonderful. That's
What?
simply wonderful.
What is that?
That's the sweet.
Oh, that's so nice. Does anybody else know about that, or am I the only one that's hearing it for the first
It's
time?
like one of Srila Prabhupada's like classic sweets from back in the day. And it's like kind of a laddu-ish type thing, but it's like really good.
Wow,
Like insanely good.
that's so nice. Oh, Vidya, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Oh, that's all good. I had a great time learning more about Nitai. But I was actually thinking about so like last night, actually the night before, I felt like I heard some beeping going off in my room, which turned out to be the fire, like the smoke detector, like, saying it's got low battery. And then it stopped by the time I woke up. So then last night it started going off consistently, like every minute at like 3 a.m. And I was already really upset because I was like, okay, now I had to wake up and like had to grab the ladder from the garage and like haul it upstairs and like, disconnect the thing. And I like it basically ruined my sleep, right? And so I was like really irritable this morning. I was just like, this sucks. I was like this beeping noise and whatever. And I was remembering, some of you might know Shasta Sai Prada. And back in the day when like the early beginnings of the youth jam team, I remember that his smoke detector was like he just I don't know what his deal was, but he just let it beep for like 2 months straight. Like every meeting we had, you could still hear it like beeping in the background. And I remember now in like hindsight, I was thinking like I couldn't do that for 2 hours, and this guy had it going for like 2 months, and he just didn't care. And so like my point with that story though is like tolerance is just such like we all understand what the meaning of tolerance is, but like putting it into practice is one of the hardest things to do. But you can see just like what a difference it makes when you do implement it in your life. Because like when you like for me, like I took 2 hours and that's all it took for me to just be irritable and like super, like fight like it just I was just not happy this morning, right? And like that kind of energy passes on to other people in your interactions. And so like and for those of you who might know Shasta, like he's actually a really like calm person and like most of the time, but he's generally a very calm person. And so like just I like it, you can really see the difference like when you're more tolerant of things, like you can really see that and other people perceive it in you as well. So it's not just for your own benefit because you become less affected by things and just less irritable and less unhappy, but other people also feel the change in your energy and then they feed off of the same energy as well. So how you feel not only affects you, but also affects the other people in your life.
Wow, that was so profound just from like a detecting noise thing of it. Wow. I'm so impressed. But yeah, I do remember that time in UGM when it was just keep ringing and I don't know why he wouldn't turn it on or off. But this is a good realization, especially like how how also you notice it in Shastra. So it's a practical example that his tolerance was also projected on you, like a good quality that you noticed. And then if you start practicing it, then without you knowing, a lot of people notice it too. So I really love that. Thank you for sharing. Arav, I saw you really focused in chanting, and I was so impressed. I would love to hear from you how that experience was, if you would like to share.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, with chanting, I just tried to stay focused on the name of Krishna and try to have one photo in my head of Lord Krishna. So in the back of my room, I have a photo of Delhi's Gaur-Nitai, and then I have Vrindavan's Radha Krishna or Radha Shamasundara. So whenever I try losing focus or something like that, I look back there and I feel that they're watching me. So I must focus in with my names and then do the japa as well as I can. And also the I feel chanting on beads is very nice compared to like any clicker or counter because I'm not sure, but the beads have some empowerment which
Mm.
helps you go through it. And when I'm chanting, I try doing more emphasis on the first Hare of every mantra because I watched one YouTube video and it said each mantra is like its own prayer. It's not one round is one prayer, one mantra, even one name is one prayer. So when you say like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then you start again with a louder Hare, so you can just keep on going, one prayer, one prayer. Hare Krishna.
This is so nice. I just thought of a funny thing. I remember like being in a temple room and there was this Prabhu and every time there Hare would come, he'd be like Hare Krishna and I would get so scared. But but it really does work. And I've seen people also do like I've tried doing like Rama Rama because I feel like I skip through that like and also I learned this thing. It's like it's it's Rama Rama, not Ram Ram. I mean, it's okay if you chant Ram Ram too. Like, you know, Krishna won't penalize you, but now that you know that it's Rama Rama, you can try to also do that. Oh, I also love that you have deities in your bag. I was thinking like when I was studying as a kid and I knew that if my mom was about to come any second, I would be more uh focused. So thank you, Arav. That was so nice. Avian, go ahead.
Yeah, like what Ara said, I got reminded of when I went to Vrindavan.
Mhm.
Like I think in the Prabhupada Museum, there's this one picture of Krishna, and any angle you look at it, it always like looks like Krishna's looking at you. It's like every direction you're seeing Krishna, like face to face.
Wow.
So
Where did you say this painting or artwork was again?
I think it was in the Prabhupada Museum in Vrindavan.
Oh, wow. We should take a field trip there. Avian, would you be able to lead us through that if we plan?
I don't remember exactly every place, but
All right, we'll contact you. Haridas, go ahead. You have Haridas in your name. Chanting. Go ahead.
I was just thinking that, like Prabhupada Lilamrita and all the books that we have about various devotees, and Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, so all the other books, we we sometimes take them like we read them, but we don't like feel like the author has done anything. We just feel like reading it and keeping it away. We don't think of the author's work. So usually, uh, like I like to before opening the book, I like to see who wrote it. So I understand that how much effort it may have taken, and I also like to see like the author writes the thank you note to the other devotees or people who have helped him. So I like to see that because it it allows us to appreciate the author and also the people who have helped create the book.
Wow, that's so nice. What's your favorite book or something that you would recommend we read?
I like the Diary of a Traveling Preacher, Indutanda Maharaj's book.
Yeah, it's so nice. I remember one of my friends, Kaylee Kunjikumari, she did a reading of that to like the little kids, and I joined in on that. So that was really fun. Thank you, Haridas. Anyone else? Kapil Prabhu, how are you doing? Would you like to share something?
Hare Krishna. Um, no, I actually, today I joined very late. My internet was wonky, so I had no context of what was going on, but it was wonderful to join and, tune in with all the reflections. Beautiful. So what I was thinking is recently, or was trying to do is focus on, each and every word of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra because sometimes what happens is I chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, and sometimes I chant, of course, Hare Hare, but I don't focus on it. So I was told by one of the very senior disciples of Tamal Krishna Maharaj that when you chant clearly and focus on it, because we want the mercy of Radharani as well and Krishna as well. So we don't miss Hare. So that was really beautiful, and I'm trying to implement that. Yeah.
Yeah, I will try that too. That is so nice.
Yeah.
And then I would like to nominate and close off this youth jam with a person who has Nam in their name, because that literally means name of Krishna. Chaitanya Nitai Nam, would you like to share something?
Hare Krishna. I think during the chanting, because we had started the chanting right after the discussion based on the reading that we did, I was thinking about the fact that in our breakout room as well, I think it was Parth and Arav, they both were kind of mentioning along the lines of how Krishna is everywhere, and kind of at reaching that point in devotional service and just in your spiritual life where you can notice and recognize Krishna in everything, animate, inanimate, whatever. You can recognize him in everything. And then we started the chanting. I was like, wait, I have to bring my mind here to the screen share of the picture of Krishna and the Mahamantra. And I was like, okay, but it's technically it's here and there, right? But no, yeah, obviously with japa, it's like, especially at my beginner level, it's not so easy to recognize Krishna and everything. It's sort of a cop out that I can use, but it's not really practical yet for me. And so I was, as usual, I would try to bring my mind back to the space where I'm actually chanting and focusing on the name itself. And so that was my experience today. And I really like just usually I don't chant at this time of day. Usually either it's in the morning or in the night. It's very bipolar there, but I like chanting, especially in this association. It was really nice, and I like incorporating this part of our program. Should do
Yeah.
it more often.
Yeah, we should do it more, and maybe we can do something to prepare ourselves, because I also thought that I needed to bring back my mind to the chanting. So we'll do that. All right. We are now at the end of our program, everyone. Thank you so much for giving us your Saturday afternoon today, and we had a wonderful time at U Jam with all of you. And we will see you next week, and we will end like by maybe put your favorite emoji, or everyone can say Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bo,
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bo, Hare Krishna.